I bet you're wondering why you should listen to the random shirtless jit on the internet with a camera. Well, let me tell you my story. So it's 2 or 3 years back, maybe in 2019, 2018. I used to be a really fat kid. And a lot of people would bully me for that. So I'd be walking around school, I'd be getting called Big Chungus. And there'd be a chant for me, right? Where every day, every time I went to go get lunch, to get something to eat, they would chant, "Vance wants lunch! Vance wants lunch!" And it would be constant over time. I would hear it every single lunchtime, every day. Which is how you define bullying, right? The problem is that the people who were bullying me were the popular kids in my year. And obviously being this outcast, the fucking brown kid who no one wanted to be friends with, I wanted to be friends with these popular groups. Because if I became friends with these popular groups, that means people would accept me, right? It means people would like me more. It means I would have more status, I'd be more respected. I guess that's all I wanted, as this little brown fat kid who just wanted a little bit of respect, who had that little bit of masculinity inside of him. And he just wanted that little bit of respect from his peers. Well, I finally got what I wanted. The time came round and people decided, you know what? We'll be friends with him. So I got excited, but because people were actually being nice to me, I wasn't getting bullied as much anymore. I thought that I'd gained that little ounce of respect that I wanted. I would later find out that these people were talking shit behind my back. They'd be saying certain things about me, oh, he's still foul, he's so unathletic. The people who I thought were eventually going to be my friends ended up being the same people who would continue to bully me. They faked being friends with me to get me to be a little bit sensitive, a little bit happy, give me that little ounce of respect. It was pity. And then they took it straight away from me. I'm going to try my best to not waste your time, other than now where I'm going to waste your time just a little bit. For anyone new, my name is Vance, and I upload 2 self-improvement videos a day with just advice or some actionable things you can do throughout the day, throughout the next day, to help you change your life for the better. So I want you to click on the subscribe and the post notifications so that you can start your building of a cathedral or pyramid to improve your life. So do that. Click on subscribe and the post notifications. It's a win-win for the both of us. As young men, we're kind of told to stay away from toxic people. I guess you already know that, especially if you're watching these kind of videos. We already know what kind of defines a toxic person or toxic friend. It will be that one friend where you come to them with a piece of good news and then they'll start shitting on you for it. Which then moves me on to my next point. How do you know when you have a good friend? Because there's actually a lot of things that you think are negative are actually really good signs that they're going to be someone that is worth having as a friend. You see, the best way to test this, so this is your practical advice for this video, I'm giving it to you right now. The best way to test this is you have a piece of good news. You achieve something, right? And whoever you want to test this on, go up to any person. So with that piece of good news, say you got upper grade in the test, or say you did this lift and you got this PR. You're going to go up to your friend and you're going to tell them. You're going to tell them this piece of good news that you have. Now you can tell how good they are of a friend solely based on their reaction. Yeah, it's really obvious. And yeah, you probably already know this. But I want you to try it and see what happens. What you'll notice is the person who is the toxic friend or the friend that you shouldn't be friends with. What you'll do is, right, he'll basically strip down your achievement. He'll be like, oh, why did you get that? Why didn't I get that? Oh, this shouldn't have happened to you, and that happened to you, and these are all the reasons why you're stupid, and it shouldn't have happened to you. That's someone you don't want to be friends with. And yeah, as I said, it was obvious, right? The thing is, people have gotten better at hiding this kind of stuff, where they'll kind of fake a smile, fake a compliment to you. The thing is, you can smell this on someone. I don't mean generally like where you go around fucking sniffing them and see if you can smell the toxicity out of them. No. There's this gut feeling that you'll get when you can tell when someone's not being authentic. When you can tell when someone's being bored. And when they don't mean the things they're saying. You can tell. So when you're having this conversation with this person, you'll be able to tell whether they're really excited for you about it, or whether they just kind of blow you off and be like, oh, that's cool, bro, and then move on. Now the thing is, you might think it might be really difficult to tell the difference between when a good friend reacts and a bad friend reacts. But let me explain to you how a good friend would react to the situation. You come to them with the good news. They start praising you instantly. They'll be like, oh, you see the smile, you see the expression come on their face. You're like, come on, man, that's great, that's really good for you, that's good shit, keep that stuff up. There's this level of chemistry when it comes to a good friend reacting to your good news. It's as if they got the good news as well. It's as if it's benefited their life. Because the thing is, a good friend is able to see that when their friend benefits, when their friend does something well, their own life has benefited from it. Because their friend is a happier person. When their friend is a happy person, the people around them are happier people. The good friend understands that the people he surrounds himself around are going to be somewhat of an accumulation of who he will be. You've probably heard the phrase, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend your most time around. Now, why wouldn't the good friend want his other friends to do better? If you're the sum of the 5 people that you have around you, wouldn't you want those 5 people around you to do better? Because wouldn't that push you to do better? Wouldn't that push you to be a better person? Achieve more? Yeah. Which is why you should see your friends' achievements as something that you've achieved. You've achieved altogether. It's a benefit to all your lives. And then that's how you can tell where a great friend comes from. Thing is, when you have a toxic friend, when you have that toxicity, you won't be able to tell. Thing is, when you have that toxicity and you have that toxic friend, that inauthenticity, that fakeness, it kind of shoots out at you. And you can tell when someone doesn't like hearing that you've had good news. When someone doesn't like hearing that you've progressed. They only want to pull you down. The reason for that is because you've climbed this mountain that they weren't able to climb. It's a small mountain to you, but it's a massive mountain to them. And you've climbed this mountain. And they feel shit about that. This may have been an obvious piece of advice, but it's something that we don't keep hindsight for. We don't look around actively being like, oh, is this person authentic, this and this? And there's some friends, some acquaintances that we have, who we just kind of shoulder off, we just shrug off. But they're there. We need to understand that these people don't want the best for us. They don't want to see us do better. Which is why we have to cut these people off. I know this advice has been obvious. I know today you may be thinking, oh, I already knew this. We don't really notice it. We don't look at it actively in our lives thinking, oh, our friend's doing this or our friend's doing this. We kind of just shrug things off a lot of the time because we're so excited to tell people our good news. But next time notice, when you have something good to tell people, see how they react to it. And then you can figure out who your real friends are. Thank you for listening to me. Go get that shit, man. Love.